My name is Ondřej Zamazal. I am from Prague University of Economics and Business, and I would like to show you our PatOMat2, which is a tool for pattern-based ontology transformation using SPARQL. So the tool is available from this URL address, all.vce.cz/PatOMat2. We can check some information about this tool. So it allows ontology transformation, which is useful if you want to change, for example, modeling style of your ontology. We will see the example in a second. Our source code of our tool is available on GitHub, and this tool is being developed under the project Ontology, which aims to support the distributed management of information about the flow of entities such as materials and products within circular economy. There is also available documentation of REST API, and so let's look on the tool itself. So there is the first function is the load, or the entry function is the load, where you can load ontology and transformation pattern. Actually, you can load more transformation patterns at once, which could be useful if you have different variants of transformation pattern, very close variants, so you can see them within one batch of results. And maybe first I will show you the example ontology and example transformation pattern before we apply it. What we also have already prepared some transformation examples directly from the web page, so it is enough just to check, to click on it, and then you can apply them. So we will use BPO ontology. This is ontology. This is ontology from circular domain. It stands for building product ontology, and it focuses on how different product components can be assembled. We can check the documentation a bit. We can see assembly class, which is subclass of component. There are different relations, and assembly also has some components. There are all the different classes, of course, but let's check the transformation pattern. Transformation pattern that we will apply is the CAT, C-A-T, which stands for class by attribute type. And this transformation pattern, as we will see, it enables us to materialize some new subclass of already existing entity. Maybe I also show you the ontology again, but within the Protege editor, we can see that there is assembly class, which is subclass of component, but assembly as such as itself doesn't have any subclasses. So we will return to transformation pattern. So this is class by attribute type transformation pattern, the specific one, but I will describe you generally what is the structure of transformation pattern. So the first, there is source ontology pattern, OP source, then there is target ontology pattern, OP target, and finally there is a section of naming transformation. The OP source and OP target is very similar, but source one is used for detection of pattern instances within the ontology on which the transformation will be applied. So in this case, we can see that, and it consists of triples. So there are three triples. We can see that there is some object property with its domain A and range B, and moreover, the B has certain subclass, which is here C. Then there is also possible to use filters within the ontology pattern source. In some cases it could be useful, so there is just only condition that A must be different to B. Then there is a target ontology pattern. You can see the very same first three triples which are repeated, and then there are some new ones. In our ontology transformation process, it means that if the triples are repeated, it will be kept in the ontology. If we do not repeat them, they could be removed if we want. This could also be selected in the tool afterwards. And there are some new triples, which means really that they will be added to the original ontology, and there are some new entities with that G is a subclass of A with its some restriction. Actually, it means that there is a new created hierarchy which is regenerated according to already existing one here. And there is section with naming transformation. There are two parts. The lex part is prepared as an information for somebody who would like to create label or maybe comments, etc. For a newly generated entity. And this somebody could be, of course, human, or it could be system like large language model. We are actually working on this naming using LLM. There is another part. This is NTP, which stands for naming transformation pattern, and this is part where you can specify in a template-based manner how labels will be generated. So there are some instructions you can use, many instructions which would lead to so many labels, but then you can select within the tool which one you really want to add, and you can also, as a human in the tool, you can also edit it, and you can select which one is preferred and which is alternative, etc. There are also different naming operations. Label means that we will just take the label of the entity. Nominalize means that the system would try to make a nominative form of the given word, and passivize means that it would try to make it passive, the passive form of the input. And head noun means that it would try to take the main term of the given input. If there is no label inside these naming operations, it means that it would work on the fragment of array. So this is transformation pattern, and now we can apply it within the tool. There are two options. You can just load it from your computer, or you can load from URL. So we will use this option, the ontology here, and the transformation pattern is here, or you could also use already prepared transformation example as a whole. So we have ontology, we have just only one transformation pattern. We can load it and we could see the result. So it means that the ontology pattern source was applied to detect pattern instances. It's actually behind this, there is just SPARQL, and we can also see statistics of each transformation pattern that was used. We have just only one, so we can use just only one. Statistics 12 pattern instances. We can see the pattern name in first column. We can see matching bindings, which means the pattern instances, and how the variables were bound to the real entities from the ontology. Then there is column with the transformation SPARQL. There is the delete part, insert and insert data part. This is actually SPARQL update, and this is generated based on transformation pattern, actually target ontology pattern, and just only with the proper entities from the ontology, on which this was applied, the transformation pattern. So we can see the newly generated entity G is this one. The array here is randomly generated. This is subclass of component, but I would like to show you another example a bit, maybe here, where we have the newly generated entity as a subclass of assembly, and this is restricted on the existing structure from the source ontology pattern, and the restriction is used here, that this ontology is restricted on values from singular entity. Then we can also see how the label resulted from the NTP instructions. This is the last column, and so for example, for dynamic entity assembly that is composed of entity and entity, this is rather clumsy but not so bad. Then there is dynamic entity assembly. This is the second naming instruction, which is a bit better, and the last one is very similar to the previous one, but dynamic entity is kept, so maybe it's better. We can choose which labels we will use in the transform ontology. So we just leave these two, and we can then edit them a bit and also select which one is preferred. So I will select this one, and there is another one which seems to be quite good assembly that is composed of I will make a small change. So dynamic entity, it's by default alt label because we already selected pref label. So this is alt label, which should be okay. And then we can select the whole pattern instance. Of course, we can select more of them, also across ontology transformation patterns, but we just have only one. And finally we will apply transformation. We can apply delete and inserts. This is safe because the triples are repeated, so it actually does not have any effect. So we can just apply any of them. BPO1, we will check it in a second. And there is also transformation summary, where we can see that there was newly generated entity, which was labeled dynamic entity assembly that is composed of a dynamic entity, and we can see that it is a subclass of assembly, and there is also restriction applied on this newly generated class. So finally, we will check the ontology. Check the ontology, but I'm not sure that this one is correct. Probably yes. And you expand all, and yes, we can really see that before there was just only assembly, and now we can see dynamic entity assembly as a subclass of assembly. So that's good result that we expected. Okay, so that's all from my side. You are welcome to check to try our tool and provide our feedback if you want. So thank you for your attention and see you. Bye.